Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash because I'm low-key targeting my own people. Yes, I'm a fellow Gen Z and I'm making this video. I think we are in the worst generation for dating, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to get a lot of hate, but I simply don't give a fuck. It's your boy Casey for real. Stay for real, because one of the boss takers for a joke. Make sure y'all boys come fuck with me, you know what I mean? If y'all know me from since the beginning, welcome. You already know what it is. If you're here from the Genesis, let me know from the beginning. Leave a subscribe, leave a like. It's completely free. So the reason why I think we're in the worst relationship for dating, let me paint a picture for you. Think about phones. Let's just start there with phones. When phones were created, right? Like the cellular device, mobile phones. Maybe we could talk about that was like maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I don't know. But it's been probably over 50 years since we've had mobile phones, right? Now, phones were created so long ago, right? Okay. Long distance relationships exist since then and even before then. Like, long distance relationships have been existing maybe from since the days we were building huts and going across rivers and canoes and stuff, But nowadays that we have social media and phones and the internet, that has amplified tenfold. We now have so much long distance relationships. We now have so much people faking their persona online. So much people that are, liars and manipulators and people just following trends. It's very hard to find a very original person. It's very hard to find a person that isn't influenced by an influencer. It's ironic because you're watching me. I don't call myself an influencer. I'm just a real nigga doing YouTube. That's all. But I don't even like calling myself the N-word. But I'm just a real guy doing YouTube. Now, people influenced by these influencers. If that influencer was known for having 16 baby daddies and being around the block, playing her sexy way, boy, don't do that. I take you through. If that's what she's listening to, and the city girls and all of that, what do you expect? The influence is there. I have some homegirls. I've been friends with them for maybe over 5 years, and I've heard so much stories when I was younger about them being around their ratchet ass friends. You know what I'm saying? Down there twerking at gas stations and shit. You kind of are what you attract. And in this generation, you don't have to be around the birds to be of the flock. You could just get influenced through your screen. It just depends on how open your frontal lobe is. Is it actually developed? And some people, believe it or not, their frontal lobe really isn't developed. You're on social media at a young age, and that's why you have to be careful what you let your children consume as well, kids as well, because the internet is just feeding them a whole bunch of stuff. We have apps like X. We all know X. It was previously called Twitter. That app is filled with so much buffoonery. I don't even want to get into that in this video. And we have kids that's probably on that app and consuming that content. And all of this is going into the brain. All these graphic things is going into an innocent mind. Even if you wasn't a victim of social media, you have to consume something. And you end up with expectations. You end up curious. You end up unsatisfied, always wanting more. You end up just being influenced from others. We never sat down and really thought to ourselves, what do we really want? Internalize, who are we? Who am I? We never really sat down and be like, is this what I really want to do? Or am I just doing this because this is common around me? And I have to ask myself that sometimes too, because there's a lot of things that people do around me. And because of the human side of me, of course, I'm a human being, I might want to replicate that. But not because it's common with 100 people means you should do it too. You have to express yourself in your own unique way. And we can't really conceptualize this as a Gen Z because our generation is so filled with clout chasers and wannabes and LARPers. If you don't know what that is, go Google search it. We have the worst generation, honestly, for relationships. So what you have to do, honestly, the best way to work around this, I've conducted my research, is to just find a partner that maybe they have social media. No problem. We're young, you're going to have it. I have social media and I know the issues of it. But I'm not a slave to the social media, Find you someone that is traditional. Find you someone that, they have that quality of a person with them. They really understand the power of the IRL world. They don't live chronically online. Find you someone that is traditional. They know what it's like to be a man or to be a woman. That's the person you really want to hold on to. Someone that's willing to learn, willing to change, and not a follower, but a leader. Someone who is not, just trying to have a relationship for the social media. I've seen this so many times. Some people just hop into relationships just to be on social media. I've been to the supermarket the other day. I was with a homeboy. I think we were doing some shopping. I don't remember if this was like around New Year's Day or Christmas. I don't know. It was quite earlier up in the year, and we went shopping, and I saw this couple, and I know the guy personally. I've heard, well, not really personally, but I've heard stories of the guy, so I know the guy quite more than I know the woman. I don't know the woman at all, and I've heard from very valuable sources that he be beating the shit out of her, and they're matching pajamas in the supermarket. That's fucked up. So in public, or maybe not even in public, you look like Beauty and the Beast, and in private you slapping the fuck out of her straight Kashawn work. So it's like, what is going on in the generation? Now, don't get me wrong. Even in the 90s and 80s, we've had fake relationships. We've had manipulators and liars. But I'm trying to tell you, in Gen Z, because the world is so much more smaller now because of the internet, because of technology, it is so much more common for you to find someone that's literally fucked in the mind. Literally just fucked. Influence, BBL warrior. Niggas trying to be like other niggas and glazing niggas. Niggas going to Cuba or Turkey or whatever, getting their fat removed from their stomach and getting hairlines on their head and shit. So much shit done. I'm not against body modifications, but are you doing it because you want to do it, or are you doing it because you saw someone in a desired form? Be honest with yourself, and you like that shit. That's all you have to do. Just be honest with yourself. And honesty is found especially in a person that is, they don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's the mentality. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck if you don't like them. They don't care if you don't like their style. If they do something and you don't approve it, they're living their life. And that's the type of people you want to be around. And the sooner I realized this, I said to myself, nah, dating cannot be on the burner for me right now. It can't be on the stove heating up for me right now, because it's a dish that needs refinery. It must happen later in life, when the frontal lobe, and not just myself but others, are developed. Because God knows, every month, every 2 months, I practically feel like a new person. So we're gonna have to give this shit some time, But honestly, the best thing to do in this generation, as a Gen Z, I'm an O3 baby. The best thing to do, chase your purpose. You can't lose when you're on your purpose. Honestly, before I did this video, I was feeling so lazy. I didn't feel like I really wanted to come in the camera and do anything. I just honestly wanted to just relax and lay back. But I said no. Every minute, every second, every hour that I lay back not doing anything is a minute, a second, or an hour that I could have been doing something to put me ahead in life. So chasing your purpose is good, because when you chase your purpose, everything else that you want, your dating life, everything else, just naturally attracts you based on who you are. Have you ever realized, like, some girls, they'd be like, oh, all men are shit, all men are dogs. But those are the girls that are, bottom of the barrel, if we're being honest. And the same goes for guys that may, they might say, oh, all women are hoes and stuff. Usually the men that say that, they're at the bottom of the barrel. You see someone with real quality and class, they could care less about the doggy women, or they could care less about the doggy men. Because they know that they are of such caliber, they can just attract someone of such caliber as well, eventually. Because attracting someone isn't their all. That's not their world. They have a purpose. So the best thing you could do as a Gen Z, have your purpose. I'm trying to make the video short. Just find your purpose, chase your purpose, and do your purpose. Everything else that you want in life will come your way through manifestation, through time, if you deserve it. Hard sweat, tears. That's all it is. I don't go out looking for no relationship, because Gen Z, we are officially fucked. It's your boy Casey for real. Stay for real, because on the box 6 for a joke. We out this bitch, man.